Okay, well, actually, one more quick technique I want to throw in here. We have an About form in this application. If I go to File and About, we have a second form. We launch a second form, just a simple form with a picture and a label and a button. But, I don't know if we have done this technique in an earlier application, but now that you know a thing or two about object-oriented programming, you're going to understand a lot more as far as the code required to launch that second form. So I want to talk about that here. So basically, this is an easy technique. So if you want to add a new form to your application, all you have to do is right-click. I'm over here in the upper left, or upper right rather. You right-click your project name in bold, and then you're going to add, and you can do a new item, or you can jump right to the form, the Windows form. Give your form a nice, meaningful name. I called mine FRM About. I already added one. I called it FRM About. Okay. So from there, you can just design the form like you would any other, all right? And one thing I want to point out here is that when you're designing a form, now this is a very simple form, but when you're designing a form, you are coding a class, whether you realize it or not. So even day one of this course, when you did your very first C# form, you were coding a class, or you were designing a form by coding a class. So let's take a look at some of this auto-generated code. Now our form is actually a partial class. They take the design aspects out of it. Let me drill down into here. This is where you typically want to stay out of here. But here are the private data members, the picture box, the label, the button. Again, this is I call that the minefield. You don't want to be poking around in here because if you delete something accidentally, the whole form is going to blow up. You're not going to be able to load it. But just want to show you that there are private data members in here. When you're dragging and dropping from the toolbox onto the form, behind the scenes, these private data members are being coded. All right. So So that part is like kind of separated out by the Visual Studio with good reason, because again, that shouldn't be like right there front and center for you to accidentally delete something. But anyway, here is where we would be coding, just coding the event handlers and whatnot. But look at this. Look at this. What's that? That's a constructor. Remember how you spot a constructor from a mile away? It has no return type, and its name is the same name exactly as the class itself. Okay, so this is the constructor for that About form that I created. This you don't want to touch. Okay, if you wipe that out, your form is not going to load properly. So yeah, there you have it. So anyway, let's go to the main form here. This is called the startup form, or your main form that is going to launch the other form. And so when the user clicks that About option on the menu, we're going to create, remember what I said, every time you see the keyword new, it's like a magic spell and an object is being created in memory. So when I was coding or designing this form, guess what? Even though I'm looking at what looks like a real object, I don't have a real object in memory yet. When you're coding a class, whether it be a form class or an item class or a book class, when you're just coding the class, all you're doing is coming up with a plan. You don't have an object yet, and that's the same with the form. When you're coding a form or designing a form, even though we're looking at it, it looks like an object. It doesn't exist as an object yet. So anyway, when I'm ready to actually create an FRM About object in memory, when the user wants to launch the About form, I'm creating a brand new, there's the data type, there's the name, I'm giving it ABT, okay, just something quick and easy. There's our keyword new, magic spell, the form is materializing in memory. And from there, all I have to do is call its show method, and it'll open that new form. Okay, so it's an easy technique, but like I said, now you know a little bit more and you can kind of start to dissect this code here and understand what's happening.